Okay, I think we did it. Let me just confirm that we're live on my main page. But if you are new here, we are going to be doing a print and press party for DTF transfers for crafting purposes instead of just clothing. But we are going to do some pressing on some t-shirts and stuff too. But let me just double check that we're actually live in the right spot, which I don't. Okay, yay, we are. Hallelujah. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Susan. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully. Hey, Anne and Melissa. Okay. So, what? Awesome. Hey, Jackie. Okay. We're going to do some crafting live. I've got the components of my kit. I'm going to show you what we're going to be working with, and then I'm just going to make it live. And so we can kind of see how easy it is to use DTF transfers and go from there. Hey, Amanda. But first, you guys can hear me, right? We're hopefully good. And I'm using my computer that I spilled some fruit punch on yesterday. So I'm hoping it cooperates. Hey, Hannah. And I'm hoping it just kind of hangs in there. But I really think it needs to be serviced. So Crystal Light and a Mac don't mix, apparently. All right. We're going to be going over what the heck is a DTF. I'm going to show you that real quick. But first, I'm going to show you the three. Hey, Krista. I'm going to show you the three prints we're going to be mainly crafting with tonight. And then I'm going to show you some examples of what a DTF can be used on. And we're going to have some fun tonight. So this is one of them we're going to be doing. So this is it. This is heat transfer. So if I help people learn how to use their Cricut machine. We do DTF transfer crafting, and we craft on wood craft blanks also. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Linda. And so over here at Print Cut Craft, we do a variety of DIY type crafting. Mainly we use our Cricut machine as a tool to make fun home decor projects like our reindeer we had a workshop a little while ago. And so sometimes we do like those little words on the little winter sign, that's vinyl. Then we do wood cutout craft blanks. We use our Cricut to make a bow. And then down there's a little reindeer bag with a DTF on there. So that one's small. You can't see that one very well from far away. But we use our tools in a variety of ways. And so I like to mix all of the things. And so this is a transfer, and we started using them. They're very much like sublimation. Hey, Ellen. They're very much like sublimation, where if you guys are familiar with like Cricut sublimation or regular sublimation transfers, you can sublimate ink onto a thing. So normally it's a cotton poly blend. So normally sublimation can be put on a sublimation blank where they have a special coating on them. And so there's tumblers and all sorts of different sublimation things. The difference on sublimation for what we're going to be doing is you can put this on most anything, not everything, but a lot of different things. And they stay nice and bright and vibrant. And so basically it's ink that's printed on a carrier sheet. And I'm using tonight my mini travel iron with no water. And then I'm also going to just use my big heat press back here too. Excuse my mess, got a messy craft room. Who doesn't, right? And so we're going to be doing, you can use a Cricut heat press. You can use a regular iron. I'm just using my mini iron for my smaller projects and my big heat press for my larger projects. So that's what we're going to do. So this is so easy to use and craft with, which is what we're going to go over tonight. So you get this in a kit or you buy them individual. You can get DTF transfers anywhere, but we sell them in our shop. And so we have a bundle of the three different craft things, and Rob's going to be listing the links for the kits that we're going to be using. But you just simply press this on to whatever you're doing, 310 degrees if you can set the temperature, like on our heat press or our Cricut heat press, for 10 to 15 seconds. You let it cool, and then you peel it off. Generally, that's how it goes. Sometimes you have little tech issues. And so we're going to talk about some of those things tonight, like what could happen. And if it does happen, what do you do about it? And so tonight I'm going to show you, we're going to use an iron to press this onto a few different things. And then I'm going to use a sanding block to sand away the edges. And then I'm going to paint some of the wood that we're going to be doing. And then we're going to do some ribbon embellishments and things like that. So that's the general gist of what a DTF transfer is. It's ink printed on a carrier sheet. And then ours, for the most part, have a white background. So then if you're putting it on darker colors, they stay nice and vibrant. Oh yeah, we're on Facebook and we are on YouTube Live. So you can be watching us. I can see people are on a variety of places. Comment either way is fine, wherever you're watching us from. Okay, so basically, I'm going to show you a couple different things of some finished samples. So we're going to be using this tree tonight. That's in one of the kits. We're going to be using this cute little snowman. And we're going to be using a Mrs. Claus. So, and Rob will list the links to the different things. So I'm going to show you different ways you can use DTF transfers. And I have a bunch of different samples. But of course, you could use it on clothing. A lot of times, regular sublimation has to be a cotton poly blend unless it's treated with some special chemicals. And then you can do like regular cotton. Oh, you like that DTF, Joanne? And so, but I'm going to show you, we're going to press on a t-shirt tonight. And so you can just see how easy it is to use it on clothing. You could do it on hat. You could do it on little patches. You could do it on the front of your shirt, like a pocket size, a full size. Like there's like your imagination is like where it's, you know, you could do this on anything. So clothing, pillows, garden flags, those kind of things. Could also do it on paper bags. We're going to do a paper bag tonight. Yeah, I did grab that. And so I'm going to be doing a totally different DTF, which I haven't listed yet, which I still need to list. So I'll list that one after the fact, but I'll show you what that one's going to look like too. This is painting on a piece of wood. We do wood. We cut our own craft blanks. And so this is just a wood craft blank, and it comes with the DTF. I happen to paint mine first and then press this on. And you could use these as wreath attachments, door hangers, shelf sitters, wherever you want to put these things. On your front console table for like the holidays. And so this is, we're going to be making a smaller version of this kind of project today, but with the Christmas version. And so we're going to be doing a bow and all of that. So this is just another idea that you can do with DTF transfers. We have special wood cutouts that fit some of our items. Like we have snow globes and these trucks. And you can put like, you can put your own vinyl straight on top of here, or you can hand letter with paint or paint markers if you want to do like the Gibsons or Merry Christmas. This is just an Easter one, but we do a couple other fun things. So this is another paper gift bag, like putting it on a gift bag. And then we have different size transfers. And so this one is our Santa, Dear Santa, like Christmas Eve cookie thing. I was like, what do you call this thing? Okay. So then what we're going to be working on tonight, not this particular pattern, but we're going to be making ornaments on clear acrylic discs. And then we're also going to be doing, making a couple coasters. And so you can see they just come in a whole variety of patterns. These are not the ones we're going to be crafting with tonight. I'm going to show you some. We have 3 new sets of coasters, 2 new sets of ornaments, and our three little, really there's more than 3 because I'm going to show you another one. I just have to list it after our live tonight. So I was hoping, wanted to make a Christmas tea towel, and that tea towel did not come in the mail in time. So I will post that one later. So I've got my iron heating up. This is no water. It's just a standard travel iron from Amazon. And I have it set to steam setting like number 2, but there's no water in it. So if you're going to use this for Cricut or DTF crafting, it needs to be a dry iron. Okay. I think we understand like all the things for what is a DTF? What can we use it for? All sorts of things. A lot of people just put them on t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that, which you totally can. Okay, so we have a couple different kits that we are doing. One, we're going to be pressing our Mrs. Claus onto a red t-shirt. The t-shirt's not included. It's just this one's listed as a DTF by itself. And then also because you can put it on anything, a sweatshirt, whatever floats your boat. But I'm going to just put this one on a red t-shirt. Okay. That's one of the things we're going to do tonight. The other thing we're going to do is this tag. And I don't know what Rob called these, but he listed them. This is going to be, we're going to use the tree on this wood tag. And we've got, the kit comes with a variety of ribbons, Christmassy ribbons, and twine and wire. So that's what we're going to be using for that kit. The other one for the snowman, I'm going to be using a variety of ribbons, a whole bunch of different ribbons, and a white bell, and some baker's twine, or no, this is floral wire, and this little snowman cutie, and a wood block. So I'm going to paint this, and then we are going to press that on, and we'll do that. And then my big heat press is a HTV Ront. It is a really affordable one. I just got it on Amazon, and I think it was like around $200. It's been amazing. So it auto presses, which is great, and then it auto releases. And so then you just set the time and temperature. So sometimes when you hear it beeping, it's because I haven't done anything with it yet, and it will auto shut off. So, but we have to do a little painting and get ourselves prepped first. So I want to just start with doing a coaster just to show you how quick and easy it is. And then we'll do a little painting so you can see what we're doing. Let me switch my camera to be this one. Okay, so we have a couple different, let me show you the new patterns we have for our coasters. And so we've got this fun reindeer. Let me do this camera so it's closer. We've got this fun little reindeer. So there's, the coasters come with 4 different prints. So we've got this little one, this little one, this little one, and this little one. And so we're going to press a couple of these. Each of the coaster sets come with a set of 4 wood, birch, coaster pieces. And so we're going to press that. Another set we have is a winter gnome, although they don't all have gnomes in them, but this one does. So it's like a blue kind of tone to this. So this one has like a Santa, warm winter wishes, and then here's the gnome. So it's got a cute little gnome. And then we have some churches, like winter churches. And so we have coasters in all sorts of seasons and everyday designs on our website. And so, and then this is the last one for that. So those are the new ones. So we're going to press a couple of these onto coasters, and then we're going to show you how you can press this onto acrylic. And so we have 2 different new ornament sets. And so they come with 8 DTFs, and then they come with 8 clear acrylic coasters and a little bit of twine to make a hanging tag. And so we're going to show you how to assemble and do all of that stuff tonight. But this one, I don't know what we called this one. Rob's listing these right now. So we've got, I don't know, kind of, I want to call this like, it's kind of reminds me of that shell. I mean, I think it is, but it's like faux stained glass. But what is that shell called? Anyway, it's just pastel church, like winter, pastel winter religious set. I don't know what the name of this one is. Oh, I know what I did. I called it Hope and Joy because there's a couple in here that say hope and joy. That's what I did. So we've got peace, got a little manger, hope, the nativity scene, and joy. So that one is that one's called Hope and Joy. If Rob listed it, I don't know. I started to do it. I don't know where I left off with that. So anyway, that's this one, a wintry kind of religious one. The other one is Christmas trees. And since it seems to be this year is sort of kitschy Christmas, like the pinks and the teals and stuff like that, I thought that would be super fun to do trees. And so this is just a fun variety of pink tree ornament pieces with like bows. So we're just gonna pick a few of these to like make, just to show you how easy it is to press DTFs. You could put this on clothing if you wanted to, but I'm gonna do this on acrylic for this shape and size. So we're just gonna pick some of those. All right, let's show you how quick and easy this is to do. Okay, so let's just do this moose because it's cute. Okay, so we've got a coaster. I've got my hot iron. And you may need like a scraper tool, and I'll show you why. And this is only if you're having issues. Now, if you were using a heat press, you're going to set your temperature to 310 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. If you're using an iron and you don't know the temperature, you could, if you happen to have a heat gun, check the temperature. I don't know the temperature of this. What I've done is just test this. So when you purchase any DTF from us, you get a QR code with a sampler piece of, it's normally a circle one that's just like a misprint, just so you could practice using this. So what I would do is I would take this. Let me find a piece of paper and I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to test this out. Hang on. Okay, so I would just start with pressing it on something you have around your house, an envelope, I don't know, something, a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock, whatever you want to do. Okay, so we'll just say this is your sampler that you get in the mail. What I like to do is to cut it up because I would like to practice a couple times just to make sure I understand how to do this. And so I'm just going to cut this up into fourths just because I want to practice and make sure I've got my temperature right. I understand the process. You guys, this is very easy. This is not difficult at all, and anybody can do it. You don't need fancy equipment. I'm doing it with a little travel iron. Okay, so I've just cut my, imagine when you got your sampler piece in the mail, you get a QR code. You can watch me do this on a video, but I'm going to do all of it live with you guys right now. And so then I'm just going to do, you just want to do straight down pressure. Now, you want to do straight down pressure and not like look away, because sometimes I'll talk to Rob or look away at something and my mind is kind of wandering. And before I know it, I'm pushing the iron this way. Well, on the back of here is an adhesive. And so it feels like sort of like a little bit of a rough rubber that's melted, which it's some type of heat coating. So when you heat it up, it's sort of like lava, an adhesive. It's going to melt and then it's going to cool down. It's going to stick to your surface. But, and so that's why, because it's going to melt, we want to do straight down pressure for 10 to 15 seconds. And I'm just doing this straight on my wood countertop. You could use a pressing mat, like those little squishy things. You could do it on a towel, whatever. And I'm not counting. I probably should have counted for you like 10 to 15 seconds. I'm just going to say that's 10 to 15 seconds. Then we're going to let it cool. And then once it's cooled down a bit, you don't want to do hot peel because it will still, a lot of times our printing press uses cool peel. And so then that's pretty cool. But, and also be aware when you press this, it can be hot. And so you just want to make sure you're careful with whatever you're touching, that just be careful it's warm because you just pressed it with an iron. Okay. Oh, did I freeze? Am I still frozen? Okay, I'm good. Okay. So anyway, so then once you've pressed it, you're going to peek. I'm going to peel this up and peek. And if anything seems like it's pulling, because this is plastic, a plastic ink, you'll see it stretch. And so if it's not coming off, put this back down and give it another press for like 5-7 more seconds. Let it cool. And then you can peel it off. But you guys, this is how quick and easy it is. That's what you're going to do with your little sampler. You're just going to practice like on a piece of junk mail, a piece of paper, whatever you guys have handy. Okay. You could practice on a piece of wood. You could practice on acrylic, flat metal from like the Dollar Tree, those Dollar Tree flat metal things. will acrylic. I have tested glossy, like a glossy ceramic. That didn't stick very well to that. But you can test it and try it out and see what else you can stick it to. So that's what I've started doing. And that's how we kind of came about crafting with DTF transfers. Okay, let's actually make a coaster now that you've done our little sample. Set our sample over here. This is trash. Throw that away. So there's two ways you can do with this. One, if you want to be really precise and you don't want it to move, this is heat tape. You can use heat tape if you would like. I don't, and I mean, sometimes I do if I don't want it to move when I'm doing a t-shirt or something like that. But what I do is I just flip these over and line it up, just center it on your design. And so I just pick it up and it's centered on the design. Now, I can just flip it over and press it, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Hey, Brenda. Or you could, if you want to not worry about it, stick some heat tape to my computer. Hang on. Well, I really stuck it to my computer. This is just heat tape. And so then you can just press this on here. So then it doesn't go anywhere. So then when you do pick it up, hopefully it's stuck where you want it. So that is an option if you want. So either way is fine. So you can wrap it around the front. Having tape on the front is not going to make any difference because this is heat tape. Cricut makes their own heat tape as well, but this is just a generic one. And so this is what I like to do. I centered it. I flipped it over. Now I know where I want it to go. I'm just going to hold half of it down with my hand. And the other half, I'm going to take my iron and go straight down. Now, remember, I'm not like going to get distracted and push my iron this way, because what will happen is your print will float on that hot adhesive and move. And so that's why you want to do just straight down pressure. It doesn't have to be like super strong pressure. It just needs to be pressure. So literally, I'm just going to lift this up, set it down. 1, 2, 3, and just get to like 15. So not doing anything yet until like 10 to 15 seconds have been up. And I can see I have a little bit left over here that I didn't get with my iron that didn't quite fit on there. So I'm just going to do a few more seconds on the bottom, and then I will lift it up and put it over, pressed down on the other side. And if you can with your iron, try to center it over everything. And I'm not ironing it. I'm not doing that yet, but I will in a second. Now, so that's probably about right. This is sort of like, I've done this so much, it's sort of like baking with your heart. We're just gonna iron it for a minute. Okay, now that I've pressed it, it's gonna be warm. It's definitely gonna be a little warm because the iron is hot. And then I'm going to take the tip of the iron and go around the edges just to make sure that I've got those pressed down. So this is going to be the same technique you're going to use for all of it. And now that it's tacked down and you've done it for a few seconds, it shouldn't go anywhere. But I wouldn't do too much like ironing. It's just more like what you just saw me do. Yes, I tried it on, Tammy, I tried it on glazed, which did not work, but it will stick to unglazed ceramic tiles. Now, one of the questions we get asked, like for these coasters, okay, so now I'm letting it cool. It's warm to the touch, so I'm just letting it cool. So we'll just chit chat while it does that. If you want to seal things, you can seal these with, which I didn't bring my little sample here. There's a couple different ways you can do this. One, you can just do a clear Mod Podge. I don't even seal it. If I was going to have a glass that sweat a lot on here, like I would do, then I would seal it with maybe with like a seal spray or a Mod Podge, like the outdoor Mod Podge kind of thing. But you can also do UV resin or regular resin right over the top of here and cure it, or just let it sit to harden overnight, or however you follow your resin directions. We have done it on our snow globes where we've done the whole top of the snow globe and added some crushed glass to it. And so you can embellish these in different ways. You could add stickles or, you know, whatever you want to. Okay, so now this is cooled down. I want you to, we can peel up the tape and you can see it kind of grabbed some of the ink and pulled it off. So you can see it kind of pulled off some of the ink, which is totally fine. Hopefully it's fine. Yeah, it didn't pull it off of the coaster. So this is how I want you to do these and these. Because we make our DTFs just a little bit bigger than our wood and acrylic projects, I want you to, well, that may or may not work. I want you to take this and you're going to take your fingernail and just scratch. You're going to scratch that ink and you're just trying to loosen that ink. So you can see that. And my heat press, I'm going to turn it back on. Hang on. Time's out all the time. Okay, so I've just started to do that. You could try to pull up on here, but because it's overhanging, you just need to get this basically started to release from your plastic. So now you're peeking. You're going to have some overhang. That overhang we're going to take off with a sander, but you're peeking. I'm pulling it up. Is anything pulling? Is any ink sticking here that I need to put this back down? If I do, I'm going to put it back down, press again, let it cool, and then go from there. So then you're just going to, you're peeling it. That's it, you guys. You're peeling it. So then I'm going to take off this little heat tape. You don't need that. This is trash now. And then we're going to take our sanding block. Now you have a couple choices. You can do a sanding block, or I like to do this metal file. I just got a collection of metal files from Amazon, and it's whatever, you know, makes you happy for sandpaper. Now, hopefully this sanding doesn't bother you, hopefully. This is kind of like using a printable or a napkin or something like that, where you can get just the vibrant prints on those different type of things. But this is plastic, so it will like stretch. And when you're pulling it, it is a plastic type ink. We manufacture these in our workshop, and so we print them and ship them out every day for you guys. So, and we have lots of different options for coasters, but how cute would that be to make a whole set of these and like tie them with a baker's twine or something fun, and then put a little tag if you're going to like a little housewarming party or a cookie exchange or something. That would be cute for your Christmassy coffee mug or something like that. So that's what our coasters are. So our coasters come in, I don't even know, 20 different patterns. We have everyday, religious, everyday quotes, Easter, spring, summer, fall, all the different holidays. So that's a coaster. Okay, I think we mastered that part. We're going to do pretty much the same thing with, which one am I going to do these? One of these. So I am just going to, I guess I'll just do this Hope one since that's the one I grabbed. Okay, so if you order our acrylic, oh yeah, Linda, that's a great idea. An emery board, very smart. If you order our acrylic discs, they are coated with a plastic just to keep them nice and clean. So I'm just going to take something sharp, tweezers, or I'm doing my weeding tool, and I'm going to pull this plastic off of each side. So the only thing to remember is there's a hole. And so when you're doing your ornaments, when you're lining up the design, you want that hole to be, your design to be facing north, up at the top. And so then we're just going to do the same thing. So then I'm going to flip this over, and I can tell that I needed to rotate that anyway. I've lined it up. I'm not going to use my heat tape. I'm just going to show you how I would do it. I'm going to pick it up, flip it over, give it a looky-loo. I think it looks lined up. It's right up to the edges. Yes, they're 4 inches, Christy. And then I'm going to hold one hand down. You could totally do this if you used heat tape and stick it under your big heat press, or use heat tape and use your bigger Cricut press. That's fine too. I just like using for smaller things. I just like using my travel iron. So I'm just doing straight down pressure. Do not push. 10 to 15 seconds. And then I'm checking, is anything overhanging over here? Because if it is, I need to make sure I put the iron over there. So I'm just going to lift it up and press it down. Now, a couple things can happen with your acrylic because it is plastic. And then also depending on how hot your iron is, this is why you need to do practice with the little piece that we send a sampler with, is that sometimes your irons can be too hot and it might look like it's a little melty. If it's too hot when you're doing your practice, turn your temperature down on your iron. I just have mine set on a 2, which is right below like the steam setting. I don't know. I normally just use this little guy from Amazon. This is a Sunbeam little travel iron. So if you're going to see, sometimes if it's too hot and you're going to see some bubbles or something like that, while it's still hot, you can take a scraper tool and just kind of rub it down, and that will help any bubbles kind of flatten out. But for the most part, you're not really going to have those problems. Now, something else that can happen with acrylic is it can get a little bit concave, like a sort of like a contact lens, nothing like concave like a contact lens, but once it cools down, it will be flat. So we're just going to let it cool. And then it's warm, so I think it's not that hot, but it's warm. Some people are partial to temperature. So we'll see how I did. Sometimes I'm talking and then it does float because I'm not paying attention. Oh, thanks, Jeanette. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip it over. There's nothing overhanging here, but so I'm just going to, okay, so this is, let me show you what I did not do. Okay, so I'm peeking and it's pulling up. Can you see how it's pulling up like that? I didn't take my iron and go all the way around the edge. So let's go do that. So I'm going to put the plastic back down. We're going to go around the corners like I should have done. So I'm just trying to get the lip of the corner. And sometimes things go well and sometimes they don't. You just never know. And also sometimes it just takes a little bit of practice. So then we're going to let this cool. And then I'm going to press one of these also so you can kind of see what that new one looks like too. And then we're going to paint our 2 other pieces of wood, and we're going to do our other tag and our square with our boats, which is going to be super cute. So let's just take this one. I'm just going to lift this up, press it straight down. I could tape it and go put it under my big heat press. I could. But for these little ones, I'm just going to do this. But for these bigger ones, I am going to go use my big heat press. And for the t-shirt, I'm going to use my big heat press. Okay, so I'm just lifting it up and putting it over on the other side. So these would be super great for just small little gifts, like you need to give like a teacher, or you want to add something to like the bus driver or the mailman or whomever. Just quick and easy crafting. I think that's like by the time Thanksgiving hits, I like only quick and easy crafting. If it's going to be super complicated, then I can wait on doing that. Okay. Also, while that's cooling, I'm going to take one of our designs. So we have a couple extra designs that I need to list. I wanted to use these for dish rags. So we'll list those. They're going to come in a set of 2. We'll list that afterwards, but it says Dear Santa, define naughty, and then special delivery from the North Pole. Thought those were super cute. But we're going to take one of these and put it under on a gift bag and press it with our big heat press. So we're going to do that in a second too. So those 3 other new ones will be listed after our live. Okay. So now this is still a little warm, but so let me show you this because the camera is closer here. So I'm peeling it up. I'm just peeling it up. And I'm just looking at the same time, is anything going to stick? And if it's totally on the corner or overhanging, it's okay if it sticks out when it's overhanging, because you can use your finger and kind of peel up that ink and then see if you can get it to stick. Now, because these are really light and pale, like this one I'm kind of messing up, but we're just going to pull this off so you can kind of see what may or may not work. I should have put it down and pressed it again, but I wanted to pull it up so I can show you, like, if you pull it up before it's ready, this is what you'll see. But then I could line this back up and press it again and let it cool. But I just wanted to show you what could happen. So then sometimes because we use translucent, we don't do white on the back of our coasters. If it has white on there, it'll be clear. So not all our designs are 100% solid. Now, I can go back, which I probably will on this set, and do a really light coat of white so the lights from your Christmas tree will still shine through. But I just wanted to show you, if you pull it up too quickly like I did, because I want to show you what will happen, then it'll just pull up. You can press it again if you want to, but then these are going to be just like the other one. You can just sand it, and then all the extras will come off. Let's try this one. This one's still a little warm. And you can't quite tell looking at it, but it's got a little bit of concave to it. And so sometimes I'll do, like, if I'm in a hurry, I might do just rub something on there like a cloth or even like a cold ice pack or something just to cool it down quicker. And so you can pick and choose how you want to do it. Okay, so we're just going to pull this up. And then this is overhanging on the edge. And so that's when it's like plasticky. So it might pull a little bit, but that's what's overhanging. Okay, so then let me sand this. So for the acrylic coasters, they come in a set of 8 coasters and 8 prints. Okay, so now we need to go find the hole at the top, which is over here. And I'm going to use my sharp weeding tool, and I'm going to start from the back and just poke it in there and just get it started. You could also use, these work really well with the sharp tip, just to kind of twist the sander in there. And then you're going to be ready for adding twine or ribbon or whatever you want to do for the acrylic coasters. But with your Christmas lights behind it, it'll really illuminate that because they don't have white on the back. So another quick and easy craft. Okay, so this is just trash. Let's use our big heat press and let's press a gift bag. So I'm just going to go over to my heat press. I'm just going to slap this down on there. I'm not even going to tape it down. And we're going to press it for 10 to 15 seconds. So if you have this is HTV Ront. You're just going to pull it out, line it where you want it, hit the R for Ront, I guess, and then you're going to let it press for 10 to 15 seconds. And then while that's doing that, I'm going to clean up my mess because we need to start painting. Okay, so that's going to be the same thing. We're going to press it, we're going to let it cool down, and then we're going to pull it off. Okay, this is warm, it's warm. So while that's doing that, I am going to, let's get our tag stuff ready to paint. And then we'll come back and do this cute guy. We're going to do a standing block. So put that there while that cools. I need a piece of parchment. I'm going to do just a really quick coat of pink on here. I was thinking I could do natural, totally could just do plain. You think I should do pink or plain? What do you think? So then we've got some miscellaneous ribbons and some twine to make a tag. So I grabbed a couple little pinks. Let's just do pink, a little bit of pink. I'm going to mix a little white in here with this. Let's try this one. I'm going to mix a little bit of white. So it's just, I just want a pale pink. I don't want any, whoops, got it all over my paintbrush. I don't want anything like crazy. I just want a little bit of pink. And I don't have the right pale pink right here in my craft studio. So I'm like, let's just make it. And so this is going to be kind of similar, but let me get a fresh one. Let's add some more white. Whenever you don't have the right color, I just like mixing paint up. And I don't even like paint, but I do like mixing paint up. Okay, so then we're just going to paint this real quick. It doesn't even have to be like super light coat, a light coat or anything. But what you do want to do is you want to make sure it's dry, very, very dry. I don't like this. Paintbrush is terrible. And I got white all over it. I want to use my white for that one. So this kit comes with the tag, the twine, the ribbon, and the ribbon may vary depending on which kit you get. We're just doing an assorted Christmassy ribbons selection. Are you watching from Virginia? Nice. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of water to this because my paint is a little dry. So and I am just mixing it, not even that great, because I think it'll be cute if it's kind of got some streaks of darker colors and lighter colors. I like that look. Okay, made a mess. Let me dry this. So I'm just using a heat gun. We're going to dry this. Mississippi. Okay. So I'm just checking that it's dry. If it feels cool to the touch at all, it's not dry. Okay, so then we're going to just put this on here. Oh, that's cute with the pink. Yeah, I like that better. I can't really tell that there is actually pink on here. I can tell because it's kind of like closer to my sweater, but so it's okay that it's overhanging. We're going to cut some of this off. So what we're going to do is take this. I'm just going to, you just have to decide, where do you want this to be? I'm just going to line it up with the bottom of the tree here, and all the extra bits over the edge, it's okay. Now, I think I will just take a little bit of heat tape and just tack that down just so it doesn't move at all. And then I'm going to take it over to my heat press, and we're going to tape it. Oh, you do? Have you not made it yet? Okay, so I'm just going to tape that down. It's not going to do anything. It's going to be okay. And then it's just tacking it down where we're going to do it. So I'm going to walk it over to the big heat press. You could put parchment or Teflon over this if you want, but it is heat resistant. But I am going to put a piece of parchment underneath it just because in case that the overhanging bits, I don't want it to stick to my pressing mat on there. So I'm going to do one underneath it. Hit the go button. Okay, while that's cooking, let's pull this one off. So I'm just grabbing the corner, checking, peeking. Is anything pulling up? If it is pulling up, you can press it again, but I'm just looking as I go. One little piece did this little piece right here. Let me press that back down. This little piece right here didn't stick down. So I'm going to use my little iron, press that one little piece down. Let that cool a second while we grab this. Now, this is hot, so be careful. All right. See how we did. Okay, so it's pulling up in a couple of spots. And also that depends where it's got lumps and bumps. You might have to be a little bit, like use your little iron or whatever to get around some of those lumps and bumps. So it's sticking right here. So I'm going to take my travel iron, and that's kind of where the tag handle kind of starts to meet that. And I'm just going to press that little piece. So how many of you guys have used a DTF transfer before? I know if you're a lot of my customers, you probably have, because you guys know I like DTF transfers. Ooh, that's warm. That's warm. So be careful. So I'm just going to let it cool a second. That's cooling down too. I don't need this anymore. But I am going to get a little bit of white for that block. So this little piece, there we go. Sometimes it's just a matter of letting it cool enough. And then you got a cute gift bag. Okay, let's check this one. So you have a couple options on this. This one's still pretty warm. Let's just peek and see. So where it wasn't on the hole, I'm just going to pick it with my fingers to get the ink to release, and then we can see where we're at. So it's still pretty warm down here, and so some of it may or may not stick. So there's one little dot right here that I'm going to just do with my travel iron, and then I should probably let it completely cool. While it completely cools, I'll go paint this piece. Yes, you can add, well, you can add heat transfer on top of it, but I've totally done vinyl, like I'm going to let this cool for a second. Regular vinyl. But you could totally do the, I'm just going to do a quick coat on the top, and then because this is already primed, this kit comes with the wood block and the ribbons and stuff. And so I'm going to just do a little bit of white. But I've done, yeah, just regular vinyl on top. I mean, regular vinyl I cut out on my Cricut for a name on top of an ornament. But you could totally do heat transfer. You might want to do a little test on that. I've not actually used heat transfer on it because I know you can. You would just have to be a little cautious on the time and temperature, because you know how sometimes heat transfers, you have to cook them longer. And so you just got to be a little bit careful on that. So I am going to do a little bit of white on the edges because we're going to do a little ribbon on the edges. And so I want this to be white. This is primed wood, so you can just do a really light coat of white because they do come from where we get them. You could have some smudges. Sometimes the contractors step on the woods with their shoes, and so it's just, you don't know. They come from a really big warehouse, and so sometimes they're in great shape, and other times they look a little rough, and they're just going to need some paint. But that's just how the wood comes to us. Okay, so I'm going to do just a little bit of white on the front just to make it all blend in together, even though it's primed, but there's a couple little slight smudges from where we picked it up from the wood whoever sells the wood. So we're going to make this into a standing sign with a bow and a bell and things. And so we're going to let this dry. You have to have this really dry before you press a DTF on here. Okay, I think that should be good. Then that's trash. So let's go back to this while that's drying, finished drying. Oh yeah, chalk paint. Well, it's a mix. I did acrylic paint mixed with chalk paint for the pink. I just use what I have at my craft station. And I'm guessing you guys probably are too. So you just use your favorite paint, whatever that happens to be. Okay, so while this is cool and cooling, it's pretty much cool now. You have a choice. You can just peel this and then pull it up, and then you'll just have, just be careful of the overhanging. But because there's such a large piece of the DTF right here, I'm going to use scissors or an X-Acto knife and just cut it before we totally pull this off, just so it's all nice and tidy. I'm just showing you different ways to do it. You guys can just practice and see what works for you. Okay. So just going to throw that away. This is going to be cute. And then I'm just checking anything pulling up. If it is, I'm going to put this back down, but it's not because it's completely cooled. And the key to the DTFs is it needs to be cooled. And if it's cooled, then you're generally going to be good to go. So and as long as you pressed it enough with enough time and temperature, you can always go back and press it again. Okay. I could ink the edges if I wanted to. My favorite little dauber that is so well loved, and my little distressing crayon. Judy Adams told me about these little finger daubers, and I've been using them ever since. So I'm just doing a little crayon on here, and I'm just going to go over the edges just to give it some definition. You don't have to. I'm just doing it. You can embellish how you see fit. So it just gives it a little definition. All right, so then you've got some twine, and we've taped the ends so it's not so messy. I gave you guys plenty. You don't need all of this, and I need to sand this little piece. So find my sander. This is where these little tiny sanders come in handy on where you can't get in your sanding block. Okay. So then I am just going to loop this through. and make it like a hanging tag. And I'm just going to cut off the excess. And then we're going to cut it. All right, now we've got a little bit of wire and we've got some of this. That one goes over here. That one goes to that. This set comes with some of my stuff, a little bit of wire, and then we're just going to make a rough bow. That goes over there. So we're going to just do a stacked bow. And so you guys have way too much ribbon. You're not going to need all of this. I'm just going to do a small bow. So I'm just doing a breast cancer awareness. And if you want to make them bigger, you have a little extra to play with. But what I'm going to do is just check, is that kind of where I want it? I think that'll be okay. And then do I have I have this handy contraption I got from Amazon. It's called a bow dabra. It's kind of a silly name, but it holds all my ribbon. So I'm just going to put my twine in there on the bottom. And then I can make my ribbon, my breast cancer awareness shape, and just hold it there. And I'm just going to do the same thing with this. And I'm going to make this one just a little bit smaller. So I'm just doing the breast cancer awareness shape, pulling the loop down. And then putting it on here. I'm just going just a tiny bit smaller and smaller. And then I'm just going to do this one. I might do, let me see if I cut this in half. Is that big enough for two? I'm going to try cutting this in half so I can layer it in between those layers. So I'm going to pull that one up, put this one down, that one back. Do one more of this. We're just playing. It doesn't have to be precise. It's not like perfect. It's just like something fun to do. And I think okay, let me find I cut my wire pretty short. Well, ideally you would lift up your wire, but I did my wire really short. So I'm just going to take my wire and we are going to just tightly wrap this around and then just twist tie, like sort of like a bread twist tie type of situation. And then I'm going to trim this down. And we're going to trim our tails. So I'm going to fluff it up first before I see if I need to make any adjustments. You can just undo this and then just fluff it up. And the ribbon you get may vary a little bit depending on what I decide to put together. And I'm just folding it over and then just doing that little pleat. So I'm just cutting at an angle. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. Similar length. I just cut them all and then we're going to go check our work. Some of them you might need to cut down a little more. Some might be like that's probably too long. And I'm not worried that they're just different lengths. Now, you can make any kind of bow you want. You don't have to make this bow. You can just do whatever makes you happy. Okay, so I'm going to take that and then I'm going to use a piece of the scrap and I'm just going to do a little loose knot and we're going to glue that onto the front. So it's just a loose knot. I'm going to cut it. This is what we call our cheater bow. Our regular people know I do this one all the time just because it's quick and easy. There are a ton of bows out there to make. This is just a quick and easy one. So then I'm just doing a little bit of glue and I'm going to just hold it there for a second. And then I am going to glue this over. Monica, your daughter's coming to visit you. That's cool. Nice. Okay, so then I'm going to trim this. And then do a little bit more glue. This is not a fancy bow. This is just a quick and easy cheater bow. And then anything extra, I'm just going to cut this off. The snowman, I think maybe I got to ask Rob on that one. So, okay. So then you're just going to fluff it up and you can just hot glue that. This one definitely needs to be trimmed and that needs to be trimmed. Let me heat up my DTF or hit that again. So this is too long. And this, I feel like, is too long. And then you can just hot glue it onto your sign. Onto the rope. Darlene, they're separate kits. It's this tag, and then we're going to do this sanding block with the snowman, and then the separate Mrs. Claus, and then we are going to have separate the tea towel prints, and then another few for gift bags. But we have a lot of other designs already in our shop, but this is just the ones we're releasing for our little fun, like better than Black Friday kind of sale. Also, when you're in our shop, you'll have 20% off that automatically is taken at the register when you go to the cart. And that sale is happening now through next. We started it yesterday, so a week from yesterday. Okay, now that you're talking about a sweatshirt, Linda, let's show how we can do this on a t-shirt. So I'm just taking a t-shirt. There is a couple different things for a t-shirt. One, you need to pre-press it. So I'm just going to go over here and pre-press it. We're just for like 5 seconds. We're going to take the moisture out of the shirt if there is any. And then I'm going to bring my DTF because I'm just going to lay this on there, press it, and then we'll let it cool. So a t-shirt has a few extra steps. So we're going to press it for like 5 seconds. I'm going to pull it out, put my design down, press it again, let it cool, peel it off. And then we need to take a piece of parchment or Teflon and press it for like 5 more seconds. Okay, so that's okay. Then I'm going to do this like a couple inches down, like 2 or 3 inches down from the collar. And I'm just going to eyeball it. You could measure and figure out exactly where you want it, but I'm just going to eyeball it. And then just give it a look just to make sure. If it's going to curl up, then you might need a little bit of heat tape. We'll see if it does. Hopefully it didn't. And then we're going to let it cool, peel it up, press it like 5 more seconds, and then you're going to be good to go for that. And then in the meantime, we're going to get our pieces together for our snowman. Okay, so my heat press just makes it look a little darker until it cools, like the t-shirt, not the design. So this is just hot, super hot. We're going to let that cool. While that is cooling, we're going to start on our little snowman. Okay, so let's just press this one on here. So we're just going to center this one down. And I could try to stick this in the, let me just do my little guy here, into the heat press, but because it's kind of thick, it might be too thick. So I'm just going to use my little travel iron. If you have a Cricut heat press, which I do, I just don't have it right here, I'm just lifting it up and straight down pressure. No forward, straight down. and then 10 to 15 seconds, move it over, straight down pressure. This is similar, like if you're doing heat transfer on a piece of wood, you can totally do heat transfer vinyl on a piece of wood. You just have to let it cool before you peel it. You have to just read whoever manufactured your heat vinyl, but we manufacture these, and these are definitely a cool, cold peel is what makes it happiest. But these are a few different kits that we're releasing today and in our shop that you guys can make. So now that I've kind of tacked the whole thing down, I can kind of just give it a little bit of an iron. If I see any bubbles, which I don't, you could take your scraper tool and like even it out. And then we'll let this cool and see, does it need anything? While that's cooling, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. So this kit comes with this glittery ribbon. And so we're going to center this over here. And we're going to put this on all the sides. This wood block is 7 1/4 inches. So it fits this design really well. And then I'm just going to do a little glue because we're going to put a bow over here. Okay. While that's cooling down, let's check on our t-shirt. So this is cooled now. Now we're going to peek. And then sometimes because it's on fabric, you kind of have to hold it down so it kind of pulls up. But what the key is letting it cool. That's the biggest tip I can give you. You guys, look how stinking cute this is. This would be so fun to wear to a event. But it looks crooked, but it looks crooked when I'm holding it up, but it's not when I have it on. So super cute, Mrs. Claus. All right, let's finish our little guy, and then we'll be done for tonight. All right, so then we are going to make our little bow. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do for the ribbons, so we have a variety of ribbons for this one too. Oh, you want it on an apron? Oh, Judy, that'd be so cute. Yeah, we'll work on listing them separate too, because that way if you guys want them to do something like that, that would be super fun. So I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just going to figure out how big a bow do I want on this. Is this too big? It's kind of big, but I think it's kind of fun. So I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. Let me get my little bow holder. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just doing the breast cancer awareness shape. And depending on how big or small your loop is, it will depend how big or small your bow is. So I'm just going to do something like that. And then I think I'm just going to do the white little pom-poms. I'm just doing the same thing, breast cancer awareness kind of shape, because we can make it into a fun little bow. And then I'm going to get you have a little bit of floral wire, and I'm just going to cinch all this together, and then we're going to add a white bell to it. So I'm just doing it snugly. But these are like totally doable projects that you guys can make quick and easy during the holidays for something fun to do. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of this extra wire, and I'm just going to tie on this bell. And I'm just going to twist that on first, and then I'll tie it on over here. I could hot glue it, I suppose, but I'm not gonna. I'm just going to twist tie it. All right. Now we're going to fluff it up. Now, I am not any professional bow maker. I am just a general DIY crafter who just likes to make things. So don't come at me if you're like a professional bow maker. This is just how I do it. There's lots of different ways to make your bow. And all right. I'm probably going to trim this more. I just don't know yet until I get there. So let's set that aside. We're going to peel this. Quick and easy, right, you guys? Okay. So then we got that. I want this to kind of be at the top. I'm going to have to definitely trim the tails because that's like too much. So we could put it in the center. Do you guys like it in the center or off to the side? And then if you happen to have some like greenery, you could tuck some greenery in if you wanted. That could be cute. The kit does not come with greenery. I'm just testing something out and see if it'll look cute. Who knows? Thanks, Ellen. So I'm kind of feeling like I kind of want it a little on the side because then I can do some in the back and some in the front, but I'll have to trim these tails. Their tails are a little bit, this bow is a little big for this, but I kind of like it. And I'll have to trim these white little doohickeys too. I think maybe off to the side. Yeah, Darlene, I think I'm gonna do them off to the side. Okay. I'm going to do a lot of glue for this one because it's a really big bow. And then we'll have to trim, we'll have to fluff it up and trim it. Let it cool down a second. And then I definitely know these need a trim. Let that cool a second. But you guys, look how cute that is. So cute. Fluff this up. Make these shorter. Tracy went a little crazy. I'm just gonna curl that a little bit. I don't know. I can't decide. I'm gonna have to fiddle with the tails. So I think I kind of want it coming down. I'm gonna have to fiddle with my bow, but you guys get the idea. You get the idea. So we have made this cutie with the little snowman. We made a tag. We've made a cute t-shirt, sweatshirt, whatever you want to put this on. Mrs. Claus. And we've done a gift bag. And we've done coasters and ornaments. Can you see all the different ways you could use DTFs in your crafting, you guys? Oh, I didn't even tuck any of this greenery in. I'll try to tuck that in and glue it in and take a picture and post it. But so fun, right? All right, that's what I wanted to show you, is just how easy it is to use DTF transfers in your crafting. And I've got like heat tape everywhere. So when you guys, if you order anything from us, it comes with a QR code with a little sampler piece. Make sure you take the time to practice and cut that little sampler into pieces so you can practice pulling this off once you let it cool down. But it comes with video instructions, and you can always come back and reference this video too. But super quick and easy. We'll post this video. We'll do a link under these listings so that way you guys can go back and reference how I made these projects. And so then you can just rewatch it live or on the replay. So if you guys are watching the replay, just do #replay so I can see who's watching it and when you guys, when you did that. And then we will catch you next time. We're going to be doing, if you haven't seen some of the things we do here, we have Whatnot sales. If you don't know what that is, it's an auction site. We're having another Whatnot sale coming up next Tuesday. the 25th. And then we're doing a really fun event for Black Friday. During Black Friday on Whatnot, we're going live at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 7 p.m. We're having brand new DTFs only specific to Whatnot sales and specific wood cutouts over there just for Whatnot sales. But we're also going to have miscellaneous bits and bobs and mystery bundles and things like that of our woodcut crafts, craft supplies, ribbons, bells, all the things over on our Whatnot sale. So make sure you go check us out over there too. All right, guys. Good night. Talk to you later.